Hello and greetings again for another segment of CASA Cares. My name is James Washington and I'm one of the program managers here at Richland County CASA. Today we actually have Vicki Jackson, who is our Fostering Futures Coordinator. Vicki is going to share with us our Fostering Futures program. You heard us speak many a time about what Fostering Futures is. Today we actually have the facilitator. So without any further ado, Vicki Jackson.
Hi, thank you, James. I'm here to talk to you about what Fostering Futures is. We received a grant from National CASA that allows us to work with youth ages 14 to 17 on how to transition from foster care to adulthood. Jimmy Carter once said, "There is probably no group of young people in America more at risk than those who have aged out of foster care." And in 2008, the Fostering Connections and Increasing Adoption Act was developed to allow youth in foster care the opportunity to stay in foster care system until the age of 21. Our objective today will be to discuss the purpose of Fostering Futures. We're going to talk about the focus of Fostering Futures, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to work with youth ages 14 to 17. So why the need for Fostering Futures? According to the CASA Family Program, approximately 25,000 youth ages 18 to 21 leave foster care each year. They experience maltreatment and they live with instability. They're also unprepared to live independently, and they age out of foster care without a permanent home. The highest risk outcome for youth is aging out of foster care without a permanent home. Why Fostering Futures? Well, it's a pilot program that was used to assist volunteer advocates in working more effectively with youth in foster care to help improve their outcomes when they transition from foster care to adulthood. The Walmart Foundation developed this program to assist National CASA's volunteer advocates in working more effectively with and improving overall outcomes for older youth. The Fostering Futures focus is to improve outcomes for youth ages 14 to 17 by setting goals with the youth for their future, giving them clear ideas on how to achieve those goals, empower the youth with practical knowledge, and help the youth develop knowledge and skills to successfully transition to adulthood. Some statistics about older youth who age out: 1 in 5 experience being homeless after the age of 18, 1 in 4 will be involved in the justice system, and 58% of them will graduate by the age of 19. Their peers that are not in foster care have an 87% graduation rate. The Chapin Hall Midwest study was a longitudinal study that followed young people from Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois as they transitioned out of foster care into adulthood. They studied youth ages 15 to 26, and they found out that 31% were arrested by the age of 21, 15% were convicted of a crime, and 30% were incarcerated. They also found out that males in foster care are 4 times as likely to have been arrested as the general population. Our prison systems are basing their numbers off of these statistics. So our goal is to try to change these statistics and give these youth tools so that they can become more successful once they age out of foster care. The Cutler Consulting LLC in 2009 estimated that approximately 2,600 young people in each year would have serious and prolonged involvement in the criminal justice system. Some tips that I'm going to have for you as a volunteer is that you need to move your planning discussions away from concern with temporary placement issues and behavior management of teens towards long-term planning for education and employment. You also want to promote ways for the foster parents, the family members, and the service providers to support the teens. You'll work with your youth in helping them to develop a support system. Help them recognize at least one adult in their life that they can contact if they had an emergency or if they needed them to use them for a reference. But making sure that youth has a connection so that when they do leave foster care, they have at least one adult who is concerned about their future and will help them if they need any help. Also connect the teens with a network of adults to help them with education and employment. Give family members and teens opportunities to build relationships by focusing together on the future. And then the main thing is to integrate the youth into the larger community. Find resources out in the community so that once they leave, they still have that contact. So today I talked to you about the purpose of fostering futures, the focus of the fostering futures, and the need for fostering futures. I also left you with a few tips for you to work with these youth ages 14 to 17. Before I leave, I'd like to read a story to you. It's called the Starfish Story. One day, a man was walking along the beach when he noticed a boy hurriedly picking up and gently throwing things into the ocean. Approaching the boy, he asked, "Young man, what are you doing?" And the boy replied, "Throwing starfish back into the ocean. The surf is up and the tide is going out. If I don't throw them back, they'll die." The man laughed to himself and said, "Don't you realize there are miles and miles of beach and hundreds of starfish? You can't make any difference." After listening politely, the boy bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it into the surf. Then smiling at the man, he said, "I made a difference to that one." With that being said, that's what we're going to do in fostering futures. If we can just make one difference in one youth's life, we can change their outcome for once they leave foster care.